Well, good evening, everyone. That's right. Do not adjust that dial. Do not turn away. Do not get off Facebook. Do not get off YouTube. We are here. It is Tuesday night. You guys all know what that means. It is time for Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. It is Tuesday, January 21st, about 7:51 Central Time. We are here to entertain you. We're here to give you some football. We're here to make you laugh. We're here to do all that. We may even make you cry during the show. Who knows? But thank you guys for joining us again. As always, I'm Nick Rosario, and I'm never alone, except when I'm at home by myself, because never mind, you don't need to know all that. But yes, I'm here with my people. We are all gathered here today to get through this thing called life, right? Exactly. And we're going to get through the show. So as always, my crew is here. Let's find out how they're doing. And we'll start with Delilah, because she's smiling. Delilah, how are you doing this fine Tuesday? How's it going?
I am just trying to keep my sanity, so just here. I'm glad to be here with you guys. This kind of helps me not doom scroll anymore. So thank you.
Sure. Not a problem. Glad we could help. Glad we could help with that.
That's a lot of people's habit of doom scrolling is over.
Doom scrolling. I got you. But yeah, no, I'm glad that all is well with you. Hey, Mr. Cheeseburger. I guess the SC got left, but all right, Mr. Cheeseburger. How are you today there, senor? How's it going? Handy.
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking, Nicholas. I appreciate it. Delilah, good to see you. Hello there, Miss Tina. Oh, you're on the other side. It's good to see you as well. It's bad. The Statham is bad. I'm just going to leave it there.
You know what? Wasn't that bad.
It's not Godfrey level, but I'm working on it. Right. Godfrey does it, and it's like he did it in front of Statham, and Statham like, you do me better than I do me.
Yeah, I actually saw that clip. Yeah, that was pretty good.
But had a lazy weekend. This is the first time since I was in the military. So we're going back 23 years. First time since I was in the military that I actually had an MLK day off. Because my job recognizes MLK as an actual holiday and not a floater. Yeah. And I came home, did some stuff, came home and got all the stuff ready for when I went back to work today. Went out to see Joe Coy with the missus on Friday. Absolutely hilarious show. By the way, if y'all get to see King Batch, the guy from Vine, he's pretty funny too. He opened up. And then Saturday, Sunday, just sat on my butt. And I don't think I left the room for longer than 30 minutes. I just sat in my chair, dozed, woke up and ate. I did go to the gym, so because I didn't want to, But anyway, I'm great. I'm good. I'm doing all right. Today was a crazy day at work, so my brain is going. So
right.
But I'm still very happy to be here since we was talking about Eddie Murphy earlier.
I got you. I appreciate that, sir. And of course,
lights are on.
Exactly. You got it. Yo, man, somebody stole your battery. No, man. But Tina, how are you, Tina? How's it going? We've already we're only 4.5 minutes in it already. We've gone off the rails, so it's fine.
That's my man.
How you doing, Tina?
I'm good.
I know. It's incredible, isn't it? I know. I'm such a goof. What can I do? What can I do, Tina? I have no idea what I can do. But yeah, folks, it's Tuesday. Obviously, it's time to talk some football. We get the cast. The crew is here. We got our buddy Sean in the background. We always want to shout out Sean whenever we can, but we'll be talking with him a little bit later because there's a certain game coming up that he has a certain interest in that we will get to later. But as always, my friends, we always start each thing with a coin. All right, and of course, this week for our coin toss, there was something, a little exciting that happened here in Chicago for the fourth time in the last, 6 years, whatever it is, 7 years. The Chicago Bears have a new coach, and the coaching carousel continues in the NFL. Delilah, I'm going to go to you, obviously, first. You and I are both Bears fans, but we got the guy that everybody thought we should get. That was like the thing. Let's get Ben Johnson. Let's go get Ben Johnson. And now we have Ben Johnson. So how do you feel about this? Give me everything you got on Ben Johnson and how you feel about all this.
I'm cautiously optimistic as as a longtime Bears fan. I'm just always set up and then I'm hurt every season. So I'm hoping he could be the answer. I know I've been paying attention to everybody saying he's the one who come over here, fix everything, even though we've seen what happens when coordinators are given a head coaching position. It doesn't always pan out the way we think it's going to pan out. But I hope he is. I hope he's what everybody's telling me he is. So I'm hoping for the best. Like I said, cautiously optimistic. So I'll just keep carpet bagging for a while.
Yeah.
You know, like,
no, I believe you. I get it.
That's going to be my approach.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's really because again, I every year we have every time we get a new coach, we have this conversation, and it's like, all right, optimism abounds, but one of the things that I did read and that I did like, I'm not going to lie, one of the conditions apparently of Johnson coming here was that McCaskey and Kevin Warren would not be involved in the football itself decisions. That would be between him and Ryan Poles. And that was one of the things he apparently asked for. And obviously they gave it to him because he's here. So that to me, that also, though, sets up well, okay, I get that. So now we're going to see how good Ryan Poles is and how good you are. Because now you're entrusted with this team. They gave you what you wanted. Because let's be honest, as much as I know Caleb is a raw talent and the kid is good, he needs some work and he needs to be developed as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
And so that's Johnson's job to me first and foremost. Yes, we have to fix the O-line. We got to get another edge rusher. I get all that. But you have to make sure this kid starts to develop as an NFL quarterback, doesn't get sacked 60 times again this season, even if it's his fault. Those kind of numbers you just can't have if you're going to be successful at all. And it's just, so yeah, like you, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm happy because I feel like just seeing Johnson the last few years and working with that Lions offense, the guy obviously has tricks up his sleeve as well. Like the guy, it's hard not to be excited about this. And, you know, again, but he is a first-time NFL coach. So again, but this time the difference to me, we're paying him, from the reports, upwards of $13 million a year, which is $5 million more than most first-time head coaches even sniff. So the fact that you did that, this guy needs to, I mean, I'm just being honest, he needs to come in and produce. Like, you're paying him more than you would pay him a regular first-time coach. Yeah, I get it. Detroit's won the last few years, and that's a credit to him also, outside of Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. So you've done everything that Bears fans have wanted you to do now. Let's get in the draft, get that 10th pick. Let's get our other picks. I mean, we have like 8 or 9 picks already in this draft. So, I mean, if you can't come out with a solid line and another edge rusher, then I got to believe Ryan Poles is part of the problem. So, again, I'm optimistic. I'm happy. But let me go to the non-Bears fans. Let's see what you guys think. Tina, we'll go with you first. How do you feel about Ben Johnson and the Bears hiring him?
Well, I think it was probably a bidding war between Detroit keeping him and the Bears getting him. So that's what kept driving the price up. And you know what? Maybe he'll turn out good for you guys because he came up underneath Dan Campbell, who Dan was not a head coach before he was in Detroit.
Right.
And they did a really good job in Detroit. So question's going to be is, and this is typical of a lot of Chicago sports fans, how patient are you going to be about this?
I think even the last 6 years, you know how patient we are. But yes, I get your point. Yes.
I'm hoping it's a little bit more than absolutely zero to the top 4. It's like if it's not instantaneous, there's a certain part of the Chicago fan base of all the sports, not just it's a Chicago thing, that it's just like if it's not an immediate change, people are just like, I said it. And so, I mean, they got to give these guys time, but I understand the frustration. How many years has it been since you guys have been in the postseason?
Well, postseason, 5 years. Because we did go the 1 year with Mitch. Remember, double doink? What was that, 18? 19?
Yeah.
5 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 5 years ago. So, Yeah, 5 seasons ago. So I mean, yeah, it's very frustrating. I mean, we haven't, obviously been to a conference championship game since 2007 when we went to the Super Bowl. So people are, now obviously our last Super Bowl win was '85. So I mean, yeah, people are hungry here in Chicago for some winning, attitude. And I like I said, I just gotta hope that he comes in. They draft well, they fix what they need to fix, and at least we can start to improve on 5-12. I mean, last year we had a better record with less. This year, you got to blame the coaching for why we went 5-12. Whatever that happened. So now you've got your man. You've got, and again, there's a report that we're bringing in Dennis Allen to be our defensive coordinator. The old, he was fired in New Orleans as the head coach, but I don't think you could argue with his credentials as a defender. And Handy, obviously being a Falcons fan, you saw this guy's defense twice a year. I mean, what do you think about Dennis Allen, being the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears? Oh, can't hear you, buddy. Sorry.
Glad he's not in the NFC. Sure, wet. My mouth does not want to work now. Glad he's not in the NFC South anymore. I won't say he's a world beater. I mean, we did some good things this year against them. Unfortunately, it was all for naught. Thanks, Captain Kirk, a lot. Anyway, the light bulb was burned out 3 games ago. Should have changed it. Thanks, Coach. Anyway, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna have to wait and see, because I mean, there have been cases where there are certain coaches that you can take from here and put them over here, and they flourish, and you put them over here and they flourish, and there's some guys that can flourish over here, and then you take them and you put them over here, and it's like from sugar to you know what. So yeah. I got to the point where I just kind of want to wait and see. I think it would definitely be. I'm gonna have to wait and see on that one, but okay. I will definitely say that the Saints always play us tough, but they definitely gave us a little bit of gruff, with him in New Orleans. So I think that's a good acquisition for the Bears.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. Again, I know Eberflus did have the defense playing at the end of last year, and that kind of probably saved his job for this year. And then still, what happened, and yeah, we all know.
It was the beard. They didn't like it.
Yeah, I guess so. They maybe it's the the Hard Knocks thing. They tried to pump us up, and look what happened. We don't need to be doing those things. Like, we don't need to be distracted with that kind of stuff. We just need to go in and play and do our thing, and that'll be it. But maybe
they needed to market to a younger market, because all the little kids love their pumped up kicks. So hey.
Oh, great. Foster the People reference on the Roundtable, folks. I bet you never expected that one, now did you? There you go. Right. Leave it to Handy. The obscure references abound on this show, folks, and I hope you love them all. All right. Real quickly, just because it was in the news today as well, Tina Winter's favorite coach of all time is apparently going to go back home. Yes, you can go back home again. He clicked his heels 3 times, his ruby slippers. Josh McDaniel apparently is going back to New England to be the offensive coordinator once again in Patriot land. Kitty, go ahead, Tina, I'll let you comment, because I know McDaniel's your favorite guy. So what do you feel about all this? What do you think about McDaniel going back home?
Perfect place for him to keep his butt is on the New England Patriots team.
See?
That being said, with the joke, yes.
I know.
He is a good offensive coordinator. He is the one that was working with Brady for years. He worked with Matt Castle. He worked with Garoppolo. I mean, he is a guy to take a raw quarterback and a raw offense and work with it. Now, the question is going to be is how much of that was him and how much of that was working with Belichick. So we'll see what happens with that. But I can see why Vrabel would want to bring him back.
Yeah. Well, Delilah, that brings up the point, because I know you're kind of a Drake May fan. I think you were pretty, pro Drake May this year and hoping he developed. Does this help Drake? Can he really learn from McDaniel? And I mean, again, they don't have a ton as far as offensive weapons, but obviously they have some draft picks and they got some stuff in here. Vrabel, So how do you feel about him getting his hands on Drake May?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about calling myself a fan. I'm just I'm just cognizant of when rookies come into the NFL, how some teams are better at developing young quarterbacks than others, right? We know that because we've seen it. And so I don't know if he was in the right situation. And so I always like to see, I always like, who doesn't like a comeback story, right? And so maybe with these two guys around, who knows? Because again, it was just his rookie year, and let's see if he can develop under a new team, new coaching staff, new coaching team in his sophomore year, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just some guys just have it, right? Just naturally come into the league and they're just good, right? Like CJ Stroud, or Jaden Daniels. But I feel like that's really rare. Like, I don't feel like that is common. You guys tell me, you've been watching football a lot longer than myself, but I
chemistry. I think you have to have chemistry with your coaches and with the other players.
Yeah. 100.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it blows up very publicly. So
that's true. So I hope he gets another chance. I'm always here to see a good comeback story. So hopefully it is a new beginning for Drake.
Yeah. Well, hey, Handy, let's just go this way, buddy, because I know, since you have a plethora of Georgia players that you seem to love every week and talk about, is there something that look at he walks around? Yeah, exactly. Don't give me that look, sir. I'm just saying, like, what can be done, though? I joke with you because I know you like to point to your little posters and your national championships and all that. But on a serious note, sorry, I had to throw that in there. I mean, how do you feel about this, Andy? I mean, Patriots. I know not in your league. You probably don't see them play that often, but how do you feel about?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me back you up, and then I'm gonna let you finish asking your question again.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
There's a Super Bowl that people still make a reference to when they want to really kick the Falcons in the shins. And you say to me, a Georgia sports fan, I'm not familiar with the Patriots culture.
No.
I am way too damn familiar with Patriots culture.
Well, you know what I meant. You don't see them play that often. Like I figured you blocked out that Super Bowl. What was it, 28-3 at the half? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It will never go away. It will never go away. Just the fact that the football that they put in the Hall of Fame, Matt Ryan's football, is number 328.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it was
323.
283, something like that. Somewhere in that, it was a combination of 28 to 3. So it will never go away. I'm sorry. Please finish asking your question.
No, I was just gonna say what was it? Sorry, I know. See, this is what happens when I get Handy going now, and he went back and I reminded him of a very traumatic event in his life, and I apologize for that, sir. I didn't mean to trigger you with that 28-3 halftime score that you guys blew. I mean the game Super Bowl. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, no, just your opinion on McDaniel coming back to New England. Just asking how you feel about that.
You know what? If that's what he wants to do, that's what he can do. I don't know why all of a sudden that just turned into like Roberto Salazar or something like that.
I was thinking Sly.
Sly? No.
I can't believe McDaniel went back to Patriots.
His voice is a lot deeper, but why would Sly be talking about the Patriots, Exactly. He's probably talking about the Eagles, because the Eagles are a great team,
There you go.
Has it be EA Sports? That's how you spell it. Anyway,
it's in the game. Okay. I mean, I guess we're all gonna wait and see on this one, huh? Is that how it goes?
Yeah,
I feel you.
There have been some changes that I'm like, some changes or proposed changes that I've been like, okay, that might be good if they get all the right pieces together when they get in there. And then there's been some that's just like, yeah, I'll tune in somewhere around week 6 and see how things are going.
Yeah, Ben, I think he's been hitting it a little hard today. That's the problem. I think he's been messing with his rum. I don't know what's going on over there.
My God, if I listen, just trust and believe. Y'all consider yourselves exceptionally fortunate that I put the bottle down, because all them little comic rants, it would turn into like 30 minutes.
I understand, sir.
The whole stand up.
We are glad that you put the bottle down as well. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, on that note, let us take a quick break. Obviously, that is the coin toss for this week. We always try to keep you updated on current news and what's happening. But let us take a quick break. We should be back in about 40 seconds or so. Enjoy this clip from a previous show. In the coordinator position, coaching position.
I would go to Springfield, Illinois, and I would look for a shoe salesman by the name of Al Bundy.
There it is.
And he played for Polk High School, and he threw 4 touchdowns in that one game.
Scored 4 touchdowns, right?
He scored 4 touchdowns in that
He
one
scored 4
game.
touchdowns.
He's
Yes, he
absolutely amazing. He's a dynamic offensive powerhouse. I think one play he actually threw the ball to himself, 20 yards downfield, ran under it, caught it. So, yeah.
All right, we're back. Thank you for
Love that guy. Love that guy. I heard he went to California and got married to some Latin lady, and he opened up a closet. Closets. He started selling closets.
And his ex-wife ran off with bikers.
Mm-hmm. His ex-wife used to be a bartender in Boston. A bar server in Boston. Who dated a bartender who used to play for the Red Sox. But I digress.
Alrighty then. Yes.
Yay, sports ball.
For all of you who watch TV, you'll get all those references. And again, some of them are obscure. People are going, what are they talking about? We entertain ourselves here a lot too, folks. So we get them all. Thank you. We try. We try to entertain everyone, even ourselves. But yes, we had some games this past weekend, right? Divisional round games. And let's just start with this game because this was not such a surprising result, and we'll get Tina's negativity out of the way quickly. Kermit the Frog and his band of merry men, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, those wide receivers they have there, all those guys. Chiefs, Texans this past weekend, 23-14. Anybody care to chime in on this one? Again, this is kind of what everyone expected. Texans looked like they were putting up a fight for a minute, and then kind of second half, Chiefs took over, and that was pretty much it. But go ahead, Tina. Do you have any comment on Kermit and his band of merry men?
Kind of like what Delilah said in our chat. Texans had a lot of opportunities that they never took advantage of.
Yes.
And so, I mean, to me, I gave up on the game when Kermit was falling forward and still managed to get a touchdown.
Yes. Yeah, yes, he did. No, but you know what the greatest part? And again, this was not anything against you, Delilah, but it was just funny because apparently my feed was on a delay. I was watching on Sling TV, so Delilah's like, something about, I can't believe he fell forward throwing a pass, and I'm like, he did? I'm like, wait, I didn't see that. And then I saw it. I go, I must be behind. Never mind. I'm late.
Oh no!
It's just funny because I'm like, that's what happened. My bad.
Well, because at that point we hadn't discussed anything that was happening right at that
right.
moment.
No, but it was a good moment.
I will say this, and this is the only thing I'm being negative about, and I've said it before, and I just kind of want to go a little bit. I get it. The refs don't win games. The team has to win the game. But let's be honest. There has been and this is not about Chiefs. This is overall. There has been a change with the refs. In past years, there's been a change where they're no longer throwing flags on plays that could affect the game because they don't want to be called out for affecting the game, and now they're just right back to where they were at, where they affect the game.
Yeah,
so it's
right.
Either you're going to leave it all alone and let them just play,
right,
or stop with it. But we're in a league. The league wants their the owners want their $40 million investments not to get injured in their second year or third year in the league, so they're always going to protect the quarterback no matter what. I do think there should be one rule change.
Okay.
And I'm not going to talk about the stupid basketball flop that he tried.
That was good acting.
Oh, it's up for Golden Razzie.
There you go.
Oh, good. I hope he wins for it because that was the worst flop I've ever seen in my life.
LeBron, he makes LeBron look like an Oscar-winning actor.
It works in soccer.
Soccer players flop better than that.
See what I mean? It works in soccer.
Oh, right.
You might be right, Ben. You might be right.
Yes, exactly. Like this was something that it wasn't. It was the Bills. Like we felt like this with the Bills game, what Denver did. So by the time you got to the end of it, the Bills had like 15 yards in penalties, and we had 120. Like no game is that lopsided in penalties. It just means you're not calling some things you should be calling. So I don't know. I don't know how we fix the problem. I'm just saying that the refs have gone from one extreme to the other, calling things that could affect the game to not calling things that could affect the game, which ends up affecting the game.
Right.
That's my
I got all that. No, that's fine. Like I said, I figured I'd let you say what you got to say.
Up, and he had a point, which is Tom Brady also would argue with refs, and he would get calls that he would ask for. And my answer to that is yes, he did. But he didn't flop. Like, he wasn't trying to make it look like a penalty.
Right, he didn't manipulate
the penalty. He just argued the penalty. Now, and then he would have his temper tantrum back on the sidelines. Because
the way he broke his tablet.
Yeah, right. He threw the tablet, right.
The time when he flew the cape over his head.
You couldn't touch that man either. I mean,
and
this is the new. It happens every generation, right? There's that favorite team. It was the Patriots in the early 2000s, right? They were untouchable. Remember, they cheated, Deflategate, all that stuff, and it didn't matter, right?
Oh, who was? And then who from Deflategate went to Denver and did his own Deflategate again? Oh yeah, that would be Coach McDumdum.
So, the Chiefs is like this new, the 2020s.
They're just so good right now that they can plug people in and out, and they win. But it's the same as what happened with the Patriots. People are tired of it.
That's what I mean. It's just it happened.
Well, it was the same thing in basketball with Jordan. Jordan was gonna get the call.
Yeah.
That's what's funny because you bring that up, and it's like I understand how intolerable we were in the 90s. Now, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god,
some people just hated us because we were that good, and we
Not me. I did not become a fan of an individual squad until later in life. But Jordan was my guy, so I watched any Bulls game that was on. Like you know how back in the 90s the games were still relatively regional. You only got to see the games that played in your area. Jordan was so huge a star for the NBA.
He played
that
everywhere.
If the Bulls were on, it was on NBC. Everywhere.
Because before the Patriots, it was who? Before them, who was the football team? It was
the Cowboys in the 90s, maybe. Like that's about the most comparable thing I could think of.
I'm just trying to I'm just trying to walk backwards in time,
I mean, like the Cowboys won their because they won all three in the 90s. So I mean,
maybe the Steelers because they got a couple. Well, they got a.
Weren't they the 70s?
That was the 70s though.
Yeah,
with their Super Bowls. Yeah.
The steel curtain. That is not the 70s.
If only we had a Super Bowl expert to chime in on this sort of thing there, right?
The league has made this so it's so in favor of the offense. And essentially, and I never was this way. I've always been like, if you play defense, you have to play with the rules you have. You play the way you have to play because that's what the rules are. But the rules are so skewed that if they do anything that's even slightly looks like it could be a foul, they get called for it.
Yeah.
And that's a first down 15 yards or half the way to the field. So that's my problem is it's gone so far to the other side. I mean, we've seen it. I see it all the time. And yes, I know I'm only mad because he's good and I play him twice a year and he pisses me off.
No, you're not only mad because of that. I mean,
he'll sit there. He's running towards the sidelines and he'll slow up when he sees the player coming in, so they have to slow up.
Right? No, it's a ploy. It's definitely a ploy.
He goes around them and goes somewhere else.
I feel like that's just.
But he's playing within his rules. The rules are there. I don't have a problem with the rules. The problem is I think the rules are lopsided.
Yeah, it's the way that they call the certain plays.
Yeah, because
it's about protecting that position.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like. Again, not to say that there's a favoritism, but it's like he can continue to do things like that. But who was that did the fake slide last year and they turned around immediately and said, "Hey, you can't do that anymore." because it wasn't because it wasn't Mr. State Farm.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, how about the time that he went in for a run? He gave himself up and he got called he got a roughing the passer. He was a runner at the point. I don't know if it was him or if it was another quarterback. Someone that was a runner. I think it was him, but I don't remember exactly. Okay. Someone went and started running and they gave themselves up and the other team got hit with a roughing the passer call. That's not right. If a quarterback gives himself up and he becomes a runner, he is subject to the same rules. According to the NFL rules, that's the way it should be. He should not. That quarterback or that team should not have gotten a first down for that.
No, Sean said it was Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh was the call you're talking about, Tina.
Okay. So
I don't tell you, man. I when I played football, if that quarterback came out of that pocket, if that quarterback came out of that pocket, it was time.
No,
it was time.
Sean is giving us a correction for anyone's past game. He said it was a helmet.
No, that wasn't the one I was talking about.
Okay.
And actually, if you look at that one, they
hit him. They hit helmets. They actually
didn't
hit him in the helmet, right? I did. Yeah. They did show the replay.
They hit helmet to helmet over him. They never actually hit him.
Right.
So,
correct.
But again, the refs can only see what they can see on the field, and their eyes aren't as good as cameras.
Right.
I do have a problem with that.
I do think I agree with all of, not just us, but I think even announcers, even the experts are saying that the officiating, just because of the way the game.
Troy Aikman falls out the
thing. Right. He does too.
Television.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Right. When Troy Aikman gets upset about a call, you know something's going on because it's just.
Okay.
I can't believe that. Okay, take it easy.
Yeah,
Troy.
he was
okay.
just like, this isn't right, and they go right to Gene Stanatori, and he's like, this is what it should have been, and
but no, I agree.
They're fallible. I don't like to be beating on refs on this, and it's
I got you.
I've seen it in other games.
It's not beating up on them when it's not just you, and it's like people watching a game. I feel like the way they officiate is outdated now, right? With the new game, the new style of play, like you're saying. And so I think we kind of talked about that when a coin toss, right? Like way earlier in the season, and how like maybe they should be professional referees and officiate. Yeah, like
right, like this is a full-time job
with instant replay.
Yeah, and do like actual training on on the new way that it's played, because all of these quarterbacks now are mobile, right? That's the thing now. There's standing in the pocket is no longer a thing.
It's a thing of the past,
right? And so every quarterback coming out of college, doesn't matter what number he comes out at, they're expected to move, right?
To run,
and so if that's the style of play, then I do think that there needs to be some updates to that part of the officiating, absolutely, because then we're gonna have these same problems. So I know what you're saying, like that. Yes, we should score more points than the other team, right? We can't leave it down to the refs. But at the same time, there has to be some commonality and some updates to it. But that being said, I do think that the Texans,
they dropped the ball.
They dropped the ball, and
literally.
Literally. And I think that now they're looking at the fact that they can't just depend on Dell and Diggs, right? Because they went down. This game, in my opinion, and I feel like most of y'all would agree, it would be completely different.
Yeah.
Had Diggs been in this game.
Yeah.
Had Dell been in this game.
Yeah.
100%.
Let me tell you, Nico Collins tried. That man was all over the place.
He was their biggest. He was their biggest threat. And he came through. Honestly, like he caught a ton of stuff. Yeah.
And so,
if they'd had more weapons to kind of make the defense have to stick with, then I think it would have been a different game, because that defense played lights out in the front.
They really did.
But they just didn't have the weapons they needed to be able to split the secondary out.
Exactly. And the O-line
Kansas City's secondary is really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're playing against McDuffie and I forget the other guy's name. Those two.
McDuffie is crazy good. Oh my God.
He deserved every penny he got in his.
They paid him and they got their money's worth. That's for sure. All right. Well, I think this was one of those games where we'd hoped for something, but we kind of figured that this was the way it was going to go. The Chiefs.
So close.
I know it was close for a while, and you kind of went, and then that somehow they gave him a safety at the end and threw off Vegas because apparently the spread was like 9 points or something. So then everybody got into it busy about the NFL is rigged again. And so, yeah. Right. You had all that happen.
I like when Vegas gets screwed. Sorry.
Yeah, no, again.
They take my money and we screw them over once in a while.
It was like, 9 points? Oh, look, they gave him a safety. And now it's 9 points. Fantastic. All right, let's move on, though. We will see the Chiefs again in the AFC Championship game for the last, 5-6 years now they've been in the championship game. So, yeah.
7.
There you go. Is it 7, really, the championship game? Okay,
knew
7.
it was longer, but I didn't know how much.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 5.
Another game this weekend that I think went the way most people thought, but we can go to the tape, but we all thought the Rams would pull the upset.
For sure.
Yeah, we all did, and I was all for it, and again, everybody thought, well, maybe the weather could play a part because the Rams are a hot, indoor team, and they're playing California. But they had the ball handy. They had the ball. What was it? With like 3-7 minutes left, you got the ball. You're down 6, and you just couldn't do it in the snow. Handy, give me your impression of what happened here. Eagles Rams 28-22.
Blue 13. Hut. I can't. It's cold, Coach. I need you. Oh, you meant my actual what I thought.
Oh, yes. Sure.
Okay, my bad.
Okay.
That was bad. I'm off my game this week. Anyway, Delilah got it. Thank you so much for being. She got it. She's the one person that come to every show. I didn't see it. You anyway. To be honest, I thought I did. It looked like they were really going to make something happen there. It's just those last couple of plays at the end. I think it was a drop, the overthrow. But just he overthrew.
Yeah, there was one overthrow I know in that last sequence, and then
and that was pretty much it. I not gonna lie, I was rooting for them because I do think I'd have to go back and look at the show. I think I picked the Rams over the Eagles.
We all did. All 4 of us did.
We all
picked it.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do though? I mean, what can you do? I went back and I'm not gonna lie and tell you I stayed awake for most of the game, but dude, I was off. I had 3 days off. I had a Monday off in a minute. I was like, oh look, they're winning. Well, they're not winning now. Did they score? Like we took turns nodding off. She's like, yeah, they scored, and you thing, and so okay. Then I'm watching, and I hear on that side, so we just took turns, keeping track of what was going on. But I really thought the Rams were going to be able to pull it off, even with the snow, because it's not like they hadn't played in the snow before. It's just they hadn't played in the snow like that this year. I don't think.
No.
And when it came down to it, especially with when closer to the end of the game when Jalen was having what is his knee and his hand? He banged up his knee and his hand because at one point they were looking at his hand or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, ooh, if Jalen can't get this, is the opportunity strike while the iron is hot. But they just couldn't get it done. But I mean, they had it in the tank to make it happen.
Yeah, no, they did. Delilah, your impressions of this game?
I was pulling for the Rams. I like I like Stafford. I think as soon as he came back after his injury, which I was surprised, I honestly didn't think he'd be playing football again because it was pretty bad. So his comeback was great. He got all his big guys back. He got Cup back. He got Puka back. And so, they're playing lights out. I mean, they really went on a good run there. And so I felt like they had the momentum. Not, nothing against the Eagles team. If they got Saquon Barkley, right? No hit on that. But I just thought Rams just, they just came back and they were playing like lights out. And I thought into this game they had the momentum and they would have, had a shot of, the upset. But they had some miscues too, right? And that cost them. And that's
Kyron Williams had the one fumble, but again, you feel like they still were able to overcome that because again, they had the ball at the end with a chance to win. So you overcame a few mistakes and had the opportunity. It just you couldn't capitalize. Tina, your thoughts on this game, Eagles Rams?
Yeah, I just don't think they were able to capitalize at the end. They were in it until the end, and at one point, I almost sent an email or text out to the group saying. Because it looked like they were going to win. how shitty would it have been to have Saquon not get that number and they lose in the postseason?
Yeah. I mean, and that was the thing. I was sitting there watching the game, going, "Ooh, this could be cool."
Oh,
Because I mean, you're like, you got the ball, 30-something minutes left. Wouldn't that be something?
The Eagles grounded out. That's just what they did, and yeah, Hurts was hurting at the end, and they just found it like, oh, he couldn't run. Is that the one? I thought, didn't they score safety in that one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There was a safety. That's where the weird score kind of was skewed for a little bit, where it's like 15-16.
Yeah. So, I mean, Hurts was not able to move very much. So, but I think what it came down to is, again, I mean, the Rams have a good team this year.
Yeah.
And they peaked towards the end, but they just didn't have enough to be able to
pull it out.
To pull it out. Only one team seemed to have the special sauce.
That's it. That's special sauce. All right. Now I even lost my train of thought from like, where are we going now? Well, I guess we'll just go on to the next game now, won't we? I think we all know what happened here. I think we've all had our piece on this one. You know, Eagles move on to play Sean's Commanders. We'll talk about that one game in a second. Let us go. Well, actually, yes. Let us go. Sean is. Let's go to this game because I really do want to get Mr. Of course, Nick hits the wrong thing because not paying attention. Here we go. No, that game is. We'll talk about that too. But here we go. This is Commanders Lions. Let us bring in our guy. You know him. You love him. Sean Spencer, ladies and gentlemen, joining the program. Hey, Sean, how are you, buddy?
What is going on, people? How are we doing today?
No, we're great. And this is the opportunity that we want to give you because we know how important a victory this was for you guys. So honestly, I don't think, and again, and we talked about the game, obviously, we were like, wouldn't it be great if Washington could pull this one? What an upset that would be. And we were all like, yeah, but we're still going to pick the Lions. But, hopefully the Commanders put up a fight. And then I'm watching that first half going, they are, and I'm just going to say it, they are smacking that ass because they were really taking it to Detroit from the start of this game. They put on the gas and they never let up. So obviously from your perspective, Sean, give it to us, man. What your Commanders did it, but what's your impressions of what happened and how your team looks?
Well, I mean that bye week. What does that do for? Ooh, snap! Am I out?
You're good, buddy. Good.
A lot of people are talking about that bye week, and what does that do to a team? A lot of times it gives them rust. If you look at in college football, all four of the teams that had the first round bye all lost. So True. That along with all the injuries that the Lions had, and the other thing that's interesting, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson both during that bye week went and had interviews with other teams. Obviously, we know Ben Johnson with you guys, and the Jets are kind of talking to Aaron Glenn, and it's kind of like, how focused were they on this actual game? You know what I mean? And everybody picked against Washington, and I don't blame them. For purposes of our show, obviously Will and I picked our team, but once we started really looking into it, they have all of these weapons, absolutely, but they're heavily reliant on that run game. Montgomery has just came back, so he wasn't 100%. Right. And with Ben Johnson, he does a lot of trick plays, and sometimes, like on the reverse or on the little shovel, little pitch shovel, those are genius. But then on the wide receiver reverse pass, it's not happening. Or when you start to realize that Jared Goff is a statue in the pocket, all you got to do is rush him, and then he's starting to throw things. But they talked about a couple weeks ago about that 5 turnover game they had, and they praised them because they came back. Right. But you can't overlook the fact that he had those 5 turnovers. You're not always going to come back from that. More often than not, it's not going to be beneficial for your team, and I think that's what happened, and we took advantage of it.
Well, see, that's my thing too, 100%. Because again, a lot of the negativity started because obviously Johnson got hired by the Bears. Glenn was interviewing with the Jets today. I don't know what's going to happen there. But right away, like on all the, a couple of sites that I'm on, I was seeing like the hate for Ben Johnson, like, oh, you called a crappy game because you were busy concentrating on building your staff together for the Bears and this and that's like, okay, but did he throw 4 interceptions? Did he fumble the ball in a key part in the game? Like,
exactly.
Did he?
What I will say though is Jahmyr Gibbs was torching us. You guys know, you guys see him in the NFC North. You see him 2 times a year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was dominating us, and I don't know what was going on with Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson went away from the run. Gibbs had over 100 yards in like the third quarter. We could not stop him whatsoever, and Ben Johnson just totally went away from him. He gave a couple carries to Montgomery, and Montgomery, for however great he is, y'all know him.
Yeah, we had David here for 4 years here in Chicago.
Very well.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, yeah, I just feel like, but again, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but it just seemed like even when they tried to come back, Washington had an answer for him. Like, it was never, like, after, especially in the second half, you're like, yeah, okay, it's close, but Washington still seems like they're in control of this game. Like, to me, there was never a moment where I said, I don't know, man, Washington's looking good, or I don't see them giving up this lead right now, and they didn't. And so that was, that was my thing too. Like, I was very impressed. And again, that's, maybe that's Dan Quinn, like, just keeping everybody, hey guys, this, again, he deserves, and I just want to say this, he deserves a ton of credit for what's happened in Washington this year. Like, from an outsider looking in, not seeing the team every week, but you just see the result, and you see these guys are all out there playing hard. They're in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes you happy because you sit there and smile and go, now see, that's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of thing that you want, that I want here in Chicago. I want a coach that comes in, gets everybody motivated. Every week you're in it. You're playing. You're tough. You're
and let me squash all that hype that everybody's bringing up. And our buddy Lawrence Skilnick,
right? Good old Thor.
He's been bringing up all this stuff. See Chicago. See, you should have got J85. These are two entirely different situations.
Yeah, yes.
Washington had an entirely new offense brought in, owner and everybody that is all about the same goal built around Jaden. Jaden is amazing, but he also had why he's thriving the way he is, why he's the rookie of the year, is because he has that support the cast. Cast around him.
I 100% agree.
Bottom, it was
from top to bottom, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what happened to CJ last year. CJ came in to the best team possible. Like, literally, like, revamped coach, revamped OC. They gave him pieces. This year they were hurt, but CJ had the same thing. That's why he also was rookie of the year. It's exactly what you said, Sean.
We didn't have a top to bottom restructure like you guys did, but Bo Nix came into the perfect situation that he had. The whole team was built to help him work.
Right.
And Sean Payton, that doesn't hurt.
Happened at Bears. The Bears had,
that's the thing. I know. You have Sean Payton, and when he has his quarterback, it's we've seen what he did with Breeze. That's why Nicole wants it back.
And didn't have that support. He had the weapons, but he didn't have everything from top to bottom. I think if he'd had that, it would have been a completely different year for you.
Oh, absolutely.
I gotta say this because I lived in that area for 18 years, and I saw the very slow, and then it started like a snowball slowly, and then the deconstruction of what was once a proud franchise. Because I moved in the area right after, like 6 months after Snyder bought the franchise. He bought it like in May, June in '99. I got there in January of 2000. And it was just a slowly rolling snowball downhill. And watching my friends that were Commanders or then Redskins fans and then Washington football team fans and now Commanders fans, week after week after week, just the team self-destructs during the middle of a game, or they managed to put 2 great games together, and it's like, oh, they're turning the corner and they go there, and then just next week just get blown out of the water, whether it's bad coaching or bad plays. And watching what those people that I that are very good friends to this day, watching their team just be not good, and to see I almost hate that. I mean, I'm in Oklahoma for a reason, but I almost was like, man, I wish I could be there with my folks so I could celebrate with them because my feed on social media was going insane, and so I know it had to be absolutely insane. It's just like the year Atlanta went to the Super Bowl. We was like, yes, yes, yes. What are you doing this halftime? This is my favorite part of the game.
I feel like you would have been like, I might not get there with you. I've seen the mountaintop.
I've been on the mountaintop, and I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land.
But look, I gotta shout you out, Handy, because it might have taken you a sermon to say it, but you were the one person that believed that it could be done on this show, and you weren't afraid to say it, Handy. On last show, didn't you pick us?
Yeah.
My man.
He said, "My man, my man."
Because I saw it. I mean, you take all those pieces. I'll give it to you like this. I love to eat. I know we all love to eat.
Sure.
There is. I might have just set our favorite fan up for something to say in the comment section, but that's a different story. Have you ever taken your favorite dish and gone to wherever it is that you'd like to get it? And you always love it when you get there, but for some reason, that one particular time, they make it, and it is so. It's like, did they put something? What did they? Oh my God, this is and you never forget that one time you went and you had that one meal. That is what has happened with the Commanders this season. I'm not saying that it won't happen again. I think this can be recreated because they've got staying with the food analogy. They've got the master team of chefs in the front office, in the executive suite, in the coach's suite, and in the locker room. But they have managed to come together and put together an amazing season. I think, Sean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I think this season and the excitement behind the Commanders this season. No, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to put bad juju in the air. But there was a very, very good season some time ago that you and I discussed. With another quarterback,
you can say his name. We can say his name.
No. I don't listen. I'm a firm believer.
You can say Robert.
I'm a firm believer. About Robert? Yeah, but RG3 had that incredible season.
Here's the difference, though. The difference between this season and that one. A lot of people forget Robert in his first season. They went 3-7. They were not good in the first half of that year, and then they hit that 7-game stretch where they were amazing. And Robert was very one read and go. He was an Olympic, track runner. He could, if you get him on that straight line speed, he was great. But if you touch him, he was brittle. You know what I mean? The thing about Jaden is smart with it, but Jaden, he has the speed, but that's not his first inclination. With Jaden, he's more humble. He's more win in the moment, when it happens, when we go. And there's some shots, like he took a shot a couple weeks ago where they literally, against Tampa, where they picked him up, threw him outside. And I'm like, stop. Why are we running him up the middle? But Jaden is kind of, he's wired different than a lot of people up there. Because you can just see him when he's on the sideline. He's just chill, but he's so locked in.
Yeah.
And
they even commented on that. There was one point during the game where, like, you see him just sitting on the sideline, and I think they mentioned the fact that he's just so, like, he's just sitting there, like, yeah, okay, I'm taking it all, and like, I'm there, I'm focused. It's like Zen, like he's just sitting on the bench, like.
Now, do you remember? Okay, I know. Do you remember? Okay, when the up and coming Derrick Rose was sent to the All Stars back when it was actually fun, and he was just standing like LeBron, but he's just standing up there, very Chicago, very serious, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, and he was surrounded by and they're like,
"Oh my God!" They were all trying to do like a Soul Train line or something like that.
Right.
Everybody breaking out their favorite dance, and he's looking at these cats like, "For real though." That's what we on.
But it's like the same demeanor. Just I'm here to play ball. I don't know what's going on with all of this.
That's hilarious. No,
so then that gives you that belief now. It's like, you guys know this in having a Caleb. Like I know Caleb didn't have the support, but there is some of those moments where you're like, oh my God, this guy just got it.
You saw why he was good.
Right. Yeah. Bo Nix the same thing, and we have that with Jaden, where it's just. He's so locked in. But even with, and I'll tell you what I knew, and we didn't go on with Janae, but I know there's been a reverend in this show, Reverend, my brother, Reverend Red and Black. But I need to come in and tell you, when Janae told me that we were going into the Lions Den, I didn't get the picture. But when Reverend, you said something about it, and then Janae said Daniels is going into the Lions Den, I said, oh my God, see. When God tries to touch you and tell you, see,
Daniel and the Lions Den.
In a different way. And Janae tried to tell me that, oh, no, it's going to be a remix. But I said, there is no remix to the original. Sometimes you got to leave the original as it is. And in the original, Daniel shut the mouths of the Lions Den and came out victorious. Hallelujah, somebody. Hey,
there you go. Preach it, Reverend. Preach
that
it.
Was good. No, Lions have a Jared Goff problem. I don't know.
Yeah, he got that extension, so they're going to have it for a few years.
How much Hutchinson means to that defense.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, it just, there's so much exposed. That's
why last week I was kind of like, this can be done. We cannot overlook all of the injuries on that team. And it's not just that they had 22 or 18 players out or whatever. It was who they had out.
Right.
Their secondary was out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hutchinson was out. Big players on their defense. They've been getting gashed over the last couple weeks. Y'all played them, and y'all were playing good against them. I mean, obviously, we know about clock management and the coaching, but I mean, everybody was getting to them as of late, but they were still winning.
They were right. They were.
That's why I don't appreciate it kind of made me sad because I feel like the last few years, Bears fans were actually rooting for the Lions fans. We weren't like hating or nothing because we were wearing the brown bags, like, oh, that's great, like, And then now they're like, oh, well, he threw the game. Who wants to throw a chance to go to the Super Bowl? That right there doesn't make any sense to me, especially with a team that's never won one. He would be cemented in like the halls of like whatever,
legend.
Right? And so you really think he's gonna throw? No offense, Bears fans, but you really think he's gonna throw a chance at going to the Super Bowl winning just so he could come coach for the Bears faster?
I think Lions fans. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That doesn't make any sense to me. And so it's like, listen, I know it sucks. I'm sorry. But, like, he didn't throw that game, guys. And that's kind of crazy.
Oh, I don't believe he did either.
Saying that.
Detroit fans think he did. They're horrible. Go ahead, Andy. Right. Detroit fans
Lions fans have got to absolutely be sick right now just because, this was quite possibly their best shot at getting to the Super Bowl.
I get it. They should be hurt. But
and now you got Ben is gone, and
Aaron Glenn will be gone.
Aaron Glenn will be gone.
Yep.
And you're losing part of the foundation that built that. You'll get all your players back, but what kind of remember that sandwich I talked about? How's the sandwich going to taste when there's another chef making it?
Right.
And you don't have the secret sauce, so the special sauce we had that couple of years. So
I agree. Well, Sean, thank you for coming on with us.
Congratulations to your Commanders.
Right. We are very happy for you. Right. We're very, very happy for you. We do have a lot more. We have a lot more show to get through, so I just want to we will be bringing Sean back a little bit
starter
later.
Jacket.
Right. He's got his Washington right. He's got the starter jacket.
Absolutely.
We will be bringing Sean back a little bit later when we preview that said championship game. But for right now, let's go to our last game. Thank you, Sean, of the weekend, which of course was the game I was looking most forward to for a lot of reasons. And unfortunately, this game will probably the
reason that we here.
Remember, no more than 5 seconds. We might get sued. No, I'm kidding.
That's all. That's all you
get. But again, unfortunately, this game will probably be only remembered for Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion at the end there, because that's what people focus on. To me, this was a game of two guys who you could just tell how important they are to their teams, how important these two guys literally. The two leading MVP candidates all year. Like, this was a great matchup. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, two generals going at it with their teams. Like, this to me, and it was. The game did not disappoint, unfortunately, Baltimore's comeback at the end fell a little short because of that 2-point conversion drop. But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna. You guys go ahead. I'm gonna throw this out. We all know we were anticipating this game. I think we were mixed on our who would win. I think we went a little.
We were mixed. I went Ravens.
Yeah, we were mixed on this one, but yeah, guys, give me your impressions. Bills, Ravens. What a great game.
I think Harbaugh. To me, I was surprised he didn't. There were certain plays where I didn't understand why I didn't give Derrick Henry the ball because he was having when you're just on a roll.
He was having a good game.
He was on a roll. And when they went to the end zone the other time where they were kind of tied and they decided to pass, I'm like, why didn't you just give it to Derrick Henry? He would have walked in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was and so there were certain things that I'm like, I didn't understand why I didn't play to that strength because it's gonna be hard to contain him. The more, and I get it, he was probably, but you can't contain that man for long. He's 300 pounds, 6 feet. I don't even know, and so. That's the part that I didn't understand was use your beast that's on your team, man. Make the defenders work for it. And that's the part that I didn't understand either because I feel like that 2-point conversion would have been a different story. And that's why I feel like that was kind of weird on John Harbaugh's part is why didn't he play his big chess piece the most? You know what I mean? There were just certain things that I just didn't get.
Yeah.
And I feel awful for Andrews because sadly, just like the double doink, you're gonna be known for that. And you know what? I'm gonna say something right now. Stop sending death threats to athletes.
This is stupid.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
Unbelievable.
It's a game, people.
Get a life, okay? I just that's the part that I feel like the fandom makes this not fun anymore.
Yeah, certain fans, yes.
Because now it's he's scared, he's got family, and getting death threats, and it's you don't think he feels awful? He feels worse than any of you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%.
Just come on, don't take it that hard. There were other factors, and honestly, the Bills just played a really great game, and there were just some miscues there at the end, and and so stop sending death threats to athletes over a game.
No, agreed.
That's what happened when we got in with fantasy football and money became important.
Yeah.
No longer about the team, it's about the players, individual players. And it's stupid. I mean, there's so many things that went into that play that one thing went a different way, he would have caught it.
Right.
And I agree with you, though. When I was watching the game, Delilah, I was really interested in why Harbaugh was passing so much against one of the best pass defenses in the league. They're right up there, and they're very good at disguising what their packages are. So you don't know what they're going to do until the play has already started. So, and they have their run defense isn't that good. Is not the best.
No, it's not.
So, pound Henry up the middle as much as you can.
Exactly.
Just to keep it going, but I mean,
auto.
Well, and that's the thing, and I think that just makes you wonder, is it you're trying to throw them off because they're expecting you to run Derrick Henry like that? Are you trying different things to try to fool somebody? Do you think this would work? Like you said, Tina, because when you have a secondary that's good at disguising what they're doing.
Make the Bills feel like they had to just go to Allen to win.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Correct.
They were not harassing him. He could sit in the pocket. He could sit and and he wasn't getting in that, shit, now I have to run everywhere and win. And so I don't know what the game plan was.
Right.
I mean, I wanted the Bills to win. I did say that because I want Vaughn to get his third Super Bowl ring.
Right. You did say that.
But
correct.
I honestly, I wasn't sure. But you know what? Maybe this Bills team is better than people thought it was. Maybe they haven't been getting some respect with being number one.
Yeah, they did come in as the underdog. Against, I think the Bills have played harder teams this year. They've played more playoff caliber teams.
Iron sharpens iron.
It does, though.
I thought it was interesting that the Bills were the underdogs in this game. You know, like
Yeah.
that. I found that interesting too. So
But that's because the
especially
Ravens
being at
are
home.
really
Like
good.
honestly, like you're in Buffalo. Like I get it. You know, Baltimore is a cold weather team too. But like you would think that being the 2 seed, being at home in Buffalo, that you would have gotten a little bit of the. But I guess they figured the Ravens were the favorite, and like you said, that Buffalo proved. I mean, again, things could be different if Andrews catches that and you go to overtime or whatever, but it didn't happen that way. And your Buffalo Bills are your winners, and they're going to be another rematch with the good old Kansas City Chiefs. So, on that note, let us go ahead.
One more thing.
Go ahead, Delilah.
I want to make sure that people understand. Don't stop ragging on Lamar Jackson. You know, it bothers me. I don't know what else this man has to do. And that honestly, that's the reason I was really rooting for the Ravens, because I knew that if he didn't make it to the Super Bowl, that's going to be another like punishment against him. And I honestly don't know what else they could do for him at this point, but I don't know. Does he need to go to Does he need to go to a different team now so he's got a chance at the Super Bowl? I don't know.
It doesn't matter where he goes.
Right.
Because
I mean but for him, not the public.
Like,
I mean for him.
Like, because of what happened earlier in his career, him stepping forward and saying, I'm taking control of my career and I'm doing this the way that I'm doing, which he has every right to do.
Right.
He will take a hit because he has not gone to the Super Bowl. Right. If he never makes it to the Super Bowl, the narrative's always going to be, he's not going to do it because he was like that.
Right. I got you.
And that's the wrong thing.
It is.
Let's just be honest. If that had been another player in the league doing what he had done, such as some of we've talked about, Brady, some of the other guys, not one thing would have been said about it.
Right. Yeah, because
it's just wrong. It's so wrong. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of his. I think he's a damn good quarterback. Yeah. But I think for too many years, he was carrying the team. Yes. He was the one that was doing it. And you mentioned this last week, Delilah. Like, once they got Henry in there, it's almost like it's like the team could breathe. Yeah. Because it wasn't just Lamar trying to win all the time. Yep. Henry was there. The team could actually like let plays develop.
Yeah. I was thinking like a Matt Stafford situation, where he goes to another, literally a team that's willing to just throw everything in with
his career has been so much more peaceful. I don't want to say peaceful, still a violent sport, but it's just definitely been an easier road for him in Los Angeles than it ever was.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe it's time for a change of scenery, Lamar.
I know, but if he doesn't, if he does that and he doesn't, then he doesn't win. If he does, and he damned if he doesn't. Yeah, that's because true. The Ravens fans will be pissed at him for leaving.
Right.
And then everyone else is going to say, "See, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter."
He's not going to win anyways, right?
I just think he just gets bad press. Like there's just the narrative doesn't fit what's really going on. And
my thing would be is he proved this year he could throw, because he had like 38, 39 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And his best receiver was Zay Flowers. So I don't want to hear that this guy can't throw or that he's not a good quarterback, because it's not like the guy had stellar receivers all year. I mean, he had Derrick Henry, but he still threw 38, 39 touchdown passes and only threw 3 interceptions. So don't tell me this guy can't pass. I don't want to hear that crap ever again.
Talking about Zay Flowers also
was out of the game. Yes, exactly.
So that creates something different too.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't ever want to, like you said, Tina, right? I don't want to hear these bad talk about Lamar and he can't throw and all that. He just proved that this year, and the guy had a great year. Okay, so that does it for our divisional.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in our league who never won a Super Bowl that we consider them to be in the Hall of Fame and some of the best in the league.
Jim Kelly, Dan Marino, right? They never won Super Bowls.
Dan Marino is exactly who I was talking about.
Exactly.
Let's stop with this.
Yes, I agree. No, I agree with you, Tina. 100%. We're going to take a quick break. Then we'll be back with our previews of this weekend's game. But the New England Patriots have gotten their man, and they have brought home a guy who played for them for some years and was a coach and all this good stuff. So Mike Vrabel has come back, and finally, Mike Vrabel has come back to New England.
I thought
Thank you very much.
We're going to have to repeat the Coach McDum-Dum thing.
Right,
About my cold, shriveled heart, my heart shriveling.
Honestly, Tina, every time you say that, all I'm reminded of is the Great Kazoo on the Flintstones. Hello, dum-dum. Like every time, every time you say that, that's the only thing I can think of is the Great Kazoo on the Flintstones. Okay, dum-dum. Every time he says it to Fred, it just cracks me up. But of course, we are on to conference championship games this weekend, kids. So we're going to start with Bills Chiefs just because who doesn't like talking Bills Chiefs? This is rematch number 3 now in the playoffs. We're going to go around the horn on this one. I want to hear what everybody thinks of this. Give me your winner. Give me what you think about this. How does this go? Delilah, we'll start with you. Bills Chiefs Sunday at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. What do you got?
Let's go, Bills. Get over this hump. You can do it for America. We need this.
Do it for him. Buffalo will become America's team when they beat the Chiefs.
No. We need a bright spot. Come on. You can do this. Get over that hump. They changed the overtime rules just because of you guys from the last time.
Right. No, you're right, right? It's like, this should play in your favor this year, hopefully. Let's see how that goes, right?
You mean we don't even get to touch the football? That doesn't seem right, given the fact that it's called football. I should at least be able to touch it with my foot.
I'm going to call the upset. Let's go, Bills.
All right. On record, folks. That is on the record. I love it. I love it. Senior Handy, how you feel about Bills Chiefs this Sunday, boss? What do you got?
Okay. If you follow football, if you follow the lines, and I don't know if the lines are out yet or not. I'm sure they already are. Vegas doesn't waste any time on that because they don't want any money they don't want to lose any money on this by being slow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it's going to open up, if it hasn't already, with the Chiefs as the favorite. 7 times there. They've got multiple Super Bowl wins in those 7 years.
Yada yada.
But I think that yesterday was a holiday dedicated to a man who lived his life in such a manner that they called him a drum major for justice. Now, every football game has a marching band. That marching band has a drum major.
Yes,
and this man spoke spoke on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And he said, as he closed his speech, free at last, thank God Almighty, we free at last. And I think that this team from Buffalo, the one that plays up in Orchard Park, I like orchards, you know, the ones, especially the ones with the violins, because they play all that Beethoven.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They don't, y'all always start laughing and I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to focus it. It's the devil trying to throw me off.
I never know where you come up with
this team.
Yeah, exactly.
From Buffalo. Yeah. This team from Buffalo is channeling the Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson in 1984 when he said, "Our time has come." It is focusing the whoever it was, it's a Grand Funk Railroad is saying some kind of wonderful, can I get a witness? And now I feel that with the talents of the man that the ladies show dubbed a massive piece of magic, who is now a married massive piece of magic, with the talents of Mr. Josh Allen at the helm of that offense, when the clock strikes 000 at the end of the AFC Championship, you will hear, down goes Frazier, and Josh Allen will hold high the AFC Trust the Hunt Trophy, isn't it? Ironically, the AFC Trophy, isn't it named the Hunt Trophy?
Yep, named
it
after
is.
The owner.
Yes, and he will, along with his teammates, yell, free at last. The curse is broken. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. And having said all of that, yeah, Bills by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Oh, he said by 2 touchdowns. He threw that in there as well. All right. Well, there you go. All that to say, Handy takes the Bills. All right, Tina. How about you? What do you say for this weekend?
Well, the spread for the game is Kansas City minus 1.5 points.
Oh,
wow.
Very close then. It's almost a
I
pick.
think
Over under is 47.5.
Okay. Sounds about right. I would think.
So
Defense.
I don't. For me, it's the Bills. I want them. What else am I gonna say after
I know.
everything I've said this entire
everything I've said this entire year show, right? History of whatever, yes.
Though my prayer didn't work last weekend. Oh, I forgot. I should have brought out the voodoo doll.
Oh wow.
Never mind. No.
Sacrifice to Jobu.
Yeah, sure. Andy already drank the rum though, so that's too late. Sorry. Go ahead, Tina.
One of my favorite movies.
Seriously.
Sports movies.
So many lines. Sliding in. Yeah, you can have.
Just a little upside. Rest in peace, Mr. Euchre.
That's right.
I don't
Give it up
know.
for
I got
Mr.
a
Euchre.
set of white walls over on line 3.
That's my favorite line. I don't know, Charlie. I got a guy on the line about some white walls. I'll talk to you later. Give him the heater, Ricky. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and here's the thing is there's something about this team this year. I really do think they have a chance at really beating them. And Kansas City, while they have won the games that they have won, they've not won those games by very big, except for the Texans game.
Right, Texans game was.
And so it's there. If you can keep them down and you can disrupt their passes, and except for that one falling and thrown touchdown, which that's like you can't stop those. There's no way to stop that kind of stuff.
I got it. Exactly.
Coach, what is Mahomes doing? He's starting to believe.
He just has something about him that he can just do. And I think Delilah's talked about this. Like his physical training that he does for this kind of stuff, he's just able to make those throws and do those twists and all that other stuff. But if you can stop the Mahomes to Kelsey connection, that's the first thing you got to do. That's really what it is. You got to disrupt that a lot. And you just got to keep pounding in. I mean, the Texans were getting to Mahomes, so you can get there. So it's just, can you do it for 4 quarters? Can you stay with these guys for 4 quarters? Because if you give Andy and Mahomes an inch in the 4th quarter, it's going to be 28-3.
I mean, Burrows and the Bengals figured it out. A few years ago. So it's like, I don't see
Mahomes is like Brady.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
You can't stop until the score is 0-0 and there's no overtime.
100%. That's what
you can't. I mean, come on, you can't. They gave him 11 seconds and look what he did. So that's what I'm saying. You cannot give that man any time on the clock left because he just,
unless you have him come in and block a punt with 3 seconds left. And
that is quite possible. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's just seems to be how the Kansas City Magic works.
Yeah,
like,
you
get into that situation.
Go ahead, Andy. What were you going to say, sir?
I was just going to say that is quite possibly the most insane 30 seconds of football that I have ever watched in my entire life. Yeah. To see that happen, it's like, the Bills have scored, and wait, they're celebrating on the side. Wait, Patrick Mahomes is over. They're gonna score, y'all.
Right.
Oh man.
No, but again, and real quick, I've picked the Bills when the playoffs started to go to the Super Bowl and potentially win it. Like I really felt they could. I've always liked Josh Allen. And I just thought, like you said, Tina, I just feel like this is their year. Everything is kind of coming together for them. James Cook has been running well. Like Josh Allen always runs well, and it's just I just feel like this is their year. I know the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and like you said, You got Kelsey, you got Mahomes, and with that, you always have a shot. I mean, I'm picking the Bills. I'm going to stick with them. I really feel like they can pull this game out. I mean, Vegas obviously thinks it'll be close. I mean, a 1.5 point margin is basically a pick-em game because unless it's a safety, you're not going to win. 1.5 points is nothing on a betting line. So I'm going to take the Bills, and like I said, I hope that they can get over the hump, as it were. And yeah, I just feel like this could be their year. And of course, there is one other game this weekend in the NFC Championship that we will bring back our beloved buddy here to preview this a little bit. Welcome back to the program, Mr. Sean Spencer. Your Commanders. I was kidding. Freudian slip. My bad. I didn't mean that.
You were doing okay.
Take that back.
All of it down. All of it.
Well, it was fun doing the show for the last 5 years. I'm very sorry. I won't be back next week. Right. I won't be back next week. I apologize. I hope you guys have enjoyed entertaining you for the last 5
So Nicholas is no longer in charge of this show. Sean Spencer is in charge. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, I deserve that. I'll take that one. My bad. I'm so sorry. Let's start that over. Okay, and our second game this weekend, or actually the first game, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central, is Sean's Commanders versus the Eagles of Philadelphia. But Sean, okay, look, let's get serious just for a moment. All right, they split their season series. We all saw the big, comeback by Washington, a 36-33 game. Which was the last game that was played with them. Was that week 15, 14 or something, whatever that was?
Yep.
So they've split the season series. They know each other. They play in the NFC East against each other every year. So this is not going to be one of those, hey, I'm going to show you what I can do. No, we know what you do. They know what you do. Let's be honest. Right. They've seen it. They know it. They have the tape, all that stuff. What is it going to take, though? What is your key to you? What is your key to Washington winning this game this week against Philadelphia? What is your one big key?
Well, I mean, the obvious, the elephant in the room, stop Saquon.
Sure.
And you can't stop Saquon. You can only hope to contain him. Last game we played, in the game that we came back and won, he had 100 yards in the first quarter. The only reason he didn't have 300 in the total game was because we ended up, Jalen Hurts ended up getting the concussion. And that might be the biggest thing, because we're going to try to put blitz on rundowns. Probably put 8 in the box early.
Yeah. Our
secondary has been playing a lot better. Mikey Sammers still obviously had 2 interceptions in the last game, but it's going to be interesting to see what if Jalen Hurts plays. He got hurt in the third quarter, hurt his knee.
Yeah,
He didn't have to run because of the weather, and obviously the weather is going to be very big in this game. He's trending to play, but part of the reason we won in that second game is because Kenny Pickett was in the game. Kenny Pickett, and I know everybody gives Jalen Hurts a hard time. He's not this, he's not that. Well, in the last couple of years, he's been to the Super Bowl. He's got into the playoffs these couple of years. I mean, whether you like it or not, whether you have an issue with tush push or not, he is getting it done. And now we talk about Lamar finally getting Derrick Henry. You get Jalen Hurts, you give him a credible running game, the best running back in the league at this moment, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So his health is going to be an issue. But yeah, stop Saquon, man, 100%.
Nope, I would have to agree with you because, like you said, man, this guy, doesn't matter what defense he's playing, you give him the ball and he's just lights out, man. Like, he's just had such a phenomenal year. And I think a lot of it is, too, is like he feels probably freer. He got out of New York, right? The Giant, that was a disaster for him. Now you got a team that actually, I mean, the Eagles still, even though losing Jason Kelsey, they still have one of the best offensive lines in football. So you've got a line to run behind, and you got a guy like Saquon. Yeah, you run that till it dies, brother. Like, that's just one of those things where...
Let me say this, okay? If that defense goes off, Handy, you and I are not talking until next season. Because you linked your Georgia boys to that Eagles defense. Now, all of a sudden, Jalen Carter want to get all big and bad. And we know what happened when Jalen Carter...
I didn't lend them to nobody.
You said, go ahead and go Go ahead to Philly. You said go to a bird. They misunderstood you. You meant Falcons, and they went Eagles.
I didn't lend them to nobody. That man came with a big suitcase of money and said, "Come over here and play football." They said, "I like food." Okay, so they went over there. Them big old boys like to eat. So
that defense, I am very scared of that, especially
but
now.
You talk about them a lot, and that's manifesting that shit into the world. Very
yes, thank you. How many times did you bring them up last week?
Right, he did. He brought them up.
But I brought them up for every team, not just the Eagles. Matter of fact, when I went to talk about them on the Eagles, you cut me off.
I know, because it's called manifestation.
Oh, was that me who cut you off? I'm sorry. I would never have done that to you, Handy. What do you mean? Like, it was just a glitch in the thing. You just happened to disappear from the screen. It wasn't anything I did. It's accidental, bro. What do you mean?
I thought manifestation was when you went to a festival with the dudes from Australia with the greasy shirts with the greasy chest.
You mean the thunder from down under?
Oh my God! There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
I didn't know.
Notice how Tina was quick to chime in with what she knew the name of that production. Right?
I mean, the name.
I look like this, and I'm over 40. Of course, I know who Thunder's from down under. Way too many freaking bachelor parties or bachelorette parties.
Oh my God, that's the greatest. So, hey, Sean, make sure you clip that. That's phenomenal. You clip that one. That's great. Oh, Tina, you're fabulous, darling. It's okay. We're all over 40. Well, Delilah's barely over 40, but it's okay. Not even. Are you?
I am over 40.
You are over 40 now, right? Sorry.
Delilah, you're 83, right?
Yeah.
We're the same age.
Right, you're same age, right? Okay, my bad. You know, as I get older, I'm into my 50s now. My brain starts to work a little less quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on. I called your team the Eagles. Like, come on. These things happen.
You did do that.
I got a fog, man. I got a fog. Yeah, I know. I got a fog.
It's the battle of two Kevins, right? Because Kevin Durant went into the Commanders, and then Kevin Hart went over. He's a big.
Oh yeah, Philadelphia, right? The Kevins.
Yes.
I got all.
Did Kevin Durant have all the guys dancing his weird dance that he does? The Commanders.
Handy, you know, right? Handy, we know you're double nickels, so you know you turn your age around. It's the same. You're 55.
No, I'm just saying. I went to show someone a picture of my granddaughter, and I pulled the phone out, and I could see their face getting ready to ask what her name was, and I went into a complete panic because I could not remember my grandchild's name. So all y'all sitting there talking about how y'all feel old can be quiet because your day is coming. It's gonna be somebody that you know.
I got news for you. It's already here, right? Like, what are you talking about?
It's gonna be somebody you've known since you were 3 years old. You see them at least once a day, talk to them at least once a day, text them once a day, or see them on social media. And you go see them in the street and go, "Oh, you know the commercial where the lady say Paul, Ted, and the lady goes, Fred, that's Fred. How you doing?" Every single one of y'all is gonna get there.
Yeah, believe me. Like I said, I think some days I'm already there, my friend. I'm already.
Y'all act like sometimes I be on here making jokes. Sometimes I think that be the other part of my brain wandering off.
No, that's fair. I mean, it happens.
I'd ask you to co-sign on nothing, Nicholas Rosario. I know what my credit score is. I could go buy a car right now. I ask you to co-sign on nothing. No credit, bad credit, no problem. I'll give you a hard time.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. All right. All right, Sean. We'll get. I'm probably going to guess your answer, but go ahead. Who wins on Sunday? Like, do you?
I'm going to be honest, it's up in the air. But shout out to my guy Meet the Door, who said at this point, you belong here. So yeah. I got to say it. We're getting that dub, 27-23. Got to pull it out, man.
No. I'm gonna follow you in. I'm gonna go quickly and then we'll get to everybody else. I'm gonna follow you, Sean. I was really impressed, regardless of, like you said, who Detroit had out last week. I was really impressed with how they handled Detroit. Like, truly. Like, they really played a complete game. They never left their foot off the gas. They kept coming at them, and it was just a great game to watch, and I was extremely happy watching that game. I am going to pick the Commanders in this game. I think the Eagles can be beaten. And I think, it almost happened last week, right? The Rams almost got them. And I feel like they are ripe for this. People will probably call an upset. But I'm going to take the Commanders as well. I think you guys have a chance to get back to the Super Bowl. And I think it'd be great for the city of Washington, especially after all the Dan Snyder years, and you got the new owner, new coach.
Yeah.
I think this would be a phenomenal story
Especially with a lot of the new other things that are just starting in the nation's capital. Yeah,
well,
we
that's
need
true.
Positive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Something positive, everyone. Yeah. But I'm going to take the Commanders probably in a close one, too. It's going to be a squeaker, probably. I'll go 24-21. Delilah, how about you? What do you got for this Sunday's game?
It seems that whenever it's unanimous, it creates a jinx.
Yeah,
so
right.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna,
Thank you.
I'm gonna go against.
Oh, you're just gonna go right.
Thank you. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little.
To add balance to the force.
You're gonna add balance to the force.
Right. Thank you, Delilah.
So that's why I'm gonna pick the Eagles. But I also agree it's gonna be a close game because defense is really good on both teams, and so I don't think it's gonna be like a lights out type of game, and so I think it'll be a close game. But I'm gonna pick the Eagles again. Balance in the force.
Okay, fair enough. I'm all for balance. Tina, how about you?
Even though I just made the comment that I made about all of us going down on the ship, I gotta go with the Eagles. 1, Saquon, and 2, Slay. That man, I don't know how you're guys, except McLaren, I don't know how you guys are gonna do against him because
Darius Slay.
He's good in the secondary. So, but if you guys can control those two guys, I think you have a very good shot at winning this game. But I'm going to go Eagles. The line on it is Eagles by 6. So I'll go 27-21.
Okay, gotcha. And Senior Handy, what you got?
I think I said it last week. It's one thing when you have just one or two people that believe in something. When you start to get other people that believe, and see, this is to go back to, and Sean, my pastor, Reverend Ren Black, used to say, there's a word that say, wherever one or two of you are gathered,
come on,
there I will come and be in the midst. And so it started with one man who said, I will buy this team from Dan Snyder. And then he reached all the way out to California to tap a young man on the shoulder from Michigan who spent some time in Los Angeles and dabbled in movies and coffee and said, won't you come over here, son? You did your first name, press the digital magic. Come on over here. And they got together, and those two believed and built from the ground to the top. Last year, they only won, 4 games? 4 games. Now they are a mere 2 games away.
Come on.
From the Super Bowl. One game away from the Super Bowl. They win this one, they in the Super Bowl. I think that jokes aside, the belief in the franchise from the ground up, something that I saw in the game, they went for it on 4th down freely. That is not something I saw Dan Quinn do a lot in Atlanta, but he went for it. And I see a different confidence in this year's squad than last year's squad, because now they're out there on the field going, our coach believes in us, damn it, let's go do it. He trusts us enough to go for it on 4th down. He trusts us enough to do things in situations where other teams go, no, we just gonna take these punts and we gonna get the ball back to you. They do those kinds of things. And I see they walk with a different swag. Yeah. They play with a different swag. They actually show. A couple years ago, the Commanders, they come out and they be warming up and they just be looking on the field like, how much y'all think we're gonna lose by today? Hey, I already got reservations at Cheesecake Factory. My girl said, cute to go, but I'm gonna go. Y'all want to go? That kind of thing. Now they're out there like they're hyped, they're ready to play, they're excited. I think that the Commanders can do this thing, and I'm gonna ride this mug till the wheels fall off. You hear me? If I was a Commanders fan, I'd have so much Commanders gear on. They call me Reverend Dressy Jackson. You hear what I'm saying? I'd be too clean. You feel me? I would be up in that burgundy and gold. You hear me? Because I just love the energy that's coming off this team right now. And I'm not about to jump off the train just because, the Eagles got Jalen hurt and they like to form a circle around him like the Spartans, and push across the 1 yard line. You feel what I'm saying?
Right,
I think the Commanders can do this thing, and I'm riding with them. I say the Commanders win. I ain't gonna say by how much, because you know what? It don't matter if you win by 50 or if you win by 1. As long as you're leading when the clock strikes 0, that's the only thing that matters.
That's right.
Well, there you have it, folks. But it's true. Yeah, again, I'm really looking forward to the games this weekend. I think they're both, in terms of who's playing who, they're very evenly matched games in terms of that. Like in the sense of, I don't think these are going to be blowouts. I don't think you're going to see. I don't anticipate that, anyways. Obviously, anything could happen, but I really think these are both going to be very close games, and it could come down to whoever has the ball last. And so I'm really looking forward to the games this weekend. Delilah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool that the team is partially owned by Magic Johnson. Like, one of the greatest basketball players that ever lived. Do these kids even know who Irvin Magic Johnson is?
They got YouTube. They got YouTube. They got YouTube. And then look, and was it Showtime?
Right,
came out on Netflix.
With Magic, think about this potentially, right? He has his own basketball championships, right?
Yes, he does.
He won a World Series as part of the Dodgers group.
Exactly.
And now he's got the potential, right? And now he's got a potential to be part of the group that wins the Super Bowl. Magic's on fire. I don't care what anybody says. Magic is on fire.
Where to invest his money. He's always had a great business sense.
He really, absolutely, business acumen.
But that is why. That's why you can believe. That's why I went back last week and kind of got to that point midweek where you're like, we can win this thing. And it's not even necessarily like I'm saying, our players are better than Lions players. No, their roster's better. If you look at the stats, more first downs, more passing yards, more rushing yards. The Lions outdid us all. We beat them in time of possession, and they had the 5 turnovers, obviously. But when you have not only the owner, but then you have all the front office, you have Peters, Quinn, all the coaches that we have, you just get to a point where it's like, you're actually mad if we don't do it, because it's like, we're to this. You know what I mean? And then you get guys like, and then you get guys like Austin Eckler and Bobby Wagner to come here. I still don't know how they are a Washington Commander, but they are putting it all out there. You see how Bobby's so enthused about it. You just like, man, why not us, man? Like, this could be one of those just lightning in the bottle years. We catch it and go. And man, I'm just here for all of it, man.
No, I know you are, buddy. I think Eckler.
You're playing with house money. Go for it.
Yep.
Absolutely. At this point,
let it ride, as they say. Let it ride.
As we say, never let it ride.
Because I guarantee you, nobody picked you before this season to be in the championship game. So
I said
nobody.
Win.
That's amazing. I love that.
And for a were you number 7? Were you the 7th seed?
6.
Sean?
Number 6. Packers got 7 and they went out. So that's
6 playing the number 1 seed and beating the number 1 seed after a bye is big. I mean, let's also be honest. I think there's a point to the bye week because both teams had 21 days off, and except for the turnovers, which what is always in the game. You look at the game; it's turnovers. Who gets the turnovers? When it's a close game, those are the ones that are the difference. Turnovers,
or in the Chiefs' case, the refs. Once the refs
there we go. We're going to the refs again.
I'll say it for you. And let me just say this. Buffalo all day, man. Massive piece of magic. Josh Allen. Give him his MVP, and let's get him to the Super Bowl. And
I want Mr. Chicken Farmer to win again.
You know why, too, I'm really rooting for Buffalo, honestly? Because think about it. If Josh Allen can lead this team to the Super Bowl and win, I'm just saying, all those years that Jim Kelly couldn't, and all those good Buffalo teams that could never win the big one. Can you imagine how nuts Orchard Park would go if Josh Allen is the guy who brings them a Super Bowl? Can you just imagine what that
Oh, yeah.
celebration
Oh, yeah.
would look like? I mean, that's to me. I like good NFL stories, and to me, that's a good NFL story.
Part of me wants that. If
I know.
By chance Washington loses, then hey, that's fine. But
Exactly.
if Washington wins, I don't care about his story. I don't want to hear anything about Josh Allen.
Let's be honest.
Back to Wyoming for all I'm concerned.
Right. Again, we
watched
remember
it.
what happened the last time Washington played Buffalo in the Super Bowl. It was like 38-9 or
20,
37.
No, 37-24. MVP.
Oh, that was 37-24. Okay.
Griffin. We went up 24-0.
Yeah.
Picked the ball right at the half and almost had a pick six. It was so beautiful.
There you go. Right. So
I was 9 years old. I had to go to the bathroom because I was drinking a lot of soda. The only time
Right,
I had to
you
drink
was
soda
drinking a
was
lot of
that
soda.
time. And first quarter, I had to go to the bathroom. I held it until the fourth quarter. My
all
mom was
right.
like,
Wow.
What are you doing? I was like, I gotta pee. She's like, why haven't you peed? I don't want to miss anything.
Right, don't miss anything, Bob. Come on. But again,
So addicted to this stuff.
gonna have some great games this weekend. Obviously, we're looking forward to see who is going to be in Super Bowl. Always a great thing. Sean, thank you again for for joining us. We do appreciate you coming on and taking your time to chat with us about our preview for next week. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Sean, again. We will see you next time. Thank you. Let us get now. We are coming to the end of the road, as we always talk about. We always have one last segment here on our show, and we'll get right to that. One last thought. Wait, I'm supposed to hide that one. There we go. Show this one. See, because I'm learning. Here we go, folks. Wait, what? Oh, you're messing with me. I see what I did. I don't want it on the ticker. They're killing me. I quit. All right, never mind.
Let me
Well, right, you know what the thing is. It's one last thought. Let me put the question up so everybody can see what we're talking about today. And it is what I think. Like I said, I always like to do thought-provoking things because, I have a lot of time to sit by myself and think. So I came up with this one for this week. So, Andy, we'll start with you. What would you say, sir, is your greatest strength?
There was a time when I drank that if somebody were to find my trigger, it was blackout time. It was blackout time. We had to go. We had to go. Hands were going to be thrown. Right. Didn't matter if I got clocked or somebody else got clocked. I was going. Like fighting people off to actually get to the people that wanted to fight. Like you know what I mean? With sobriety and age and wisdom, I've gotten to a point where I don't want to fight anymore. Like there's no point in fighting.
Right.
What does that prove? Either if I fight somebody, either I'm going to beat them up or they're going to beat me up. Or worse than that, they're going to go get their homies and catch up with me later, a la Ricky and Boyce in the Hood.
Right.
And then now my kids don't have a dad, doesn't have a husband, mom who's still here doesn't have her son, all of that. I have gotten to the point where I can just go, you got it, man. You got it. I don't have to be right anymore to the point where I want to get where things escalate to that point. I will walk away from you quicker than Tina's favorite word she likes to say on this show, than to get into a fight with somebody. Man, I think that's it. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff I like about me, but if you ask my other half, she might say it's annoying. So I'll go with that.
But there you go. We'll get to the wife some other time. That'll be a private conversation I have with her when I tell her all.
I'm not ashamed to tell you one of them. Joe Coy talked about. You ever have that one friend that just has all this useless knowledge that just likes to share it at random points or whatever when you're having conversations and everybody else is going, "What the hell are they talking about?" And then I could just hear somebody braying off to my left side, and I was like, "You didn't have to laugh that damn hard at the joke. It wasn't that funny." She's like, "Oh, yes, it is."
Right? Yeah, yeah. Because I think I'm that friend for some other people who does that. So yes, I know how that feels. I'm with you on that one. Tina, how about you? What would you say is your greatest strength?
Loyalty. If I love you, I love you. If you piss me off,
it's over. No, that's a good one to have.
That's just the way I am. So, Yeah,
me never to get on your bad side.
Things like that, stuff like that. There's other parts of my personality that can make that a little weird, but yeah, generally I am loyal to the bone. If you're in my circle,
sure,
you're in my circle, and I will figure out how to take you down. May not be physically, it might be verbally, but I will take you down.
No, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. That's great. Delilah, how about you? What would you say is your greatest strength?
My empathy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That could lead to problems though, and sometimes overload. So but I'm not upset that I'm an empathetic person. And so that's my greatest strength, as well as like my curiosity. I like to learn as I kind of put those together. So.
No, that's a great. I mean, honestly, I think that's a great thing to be. Because you know what, sometimes you just need that kind of person in your life. You know what I mean? Like I have a great respect for empaths. I truly do though. Like because again, like you said, it's not always the easiest thing to be because some people can try to take advantage of that or take that as a weakness. But I think it takes a lot of strength to actually be able to empathize with everyone you meet or be able to have those you know what I'm saying? Like that's just something that not everybody has and not everybody's able to do that. So I do appreciate that. I mean, the same way I appreciate loyalty. Like with Tina, like she said, before this show started, I mean, I may have seen Tina once or twice, throughout the local Wrigley bar scene that we all kind of were in. And I may have known who she was or saw her once or twice. But like, since we've done the show, like, again, I'm not saying Tina and I are drinking every weekend together or anything like that, but Tina has invited me out and kind of, I went to her birthday last year. She invited me to her house for Halloween. I couldn't make Christmas because I got sick. But like, that's the kind of thing you truly appreciate from someone, and I do appreciate that. Thanks for including me, Tina. I do. Now, Handy, with you, man, like I said, somehow you and I were separated at birth with two different mamas or something. Because I feel like a lot of when you and I talk, bro, we have a lot of things that are similar and a lot of things that we get the same, same sense of humor and the style and stuff. And like, so it's very, very easy to just play off of you and be able to, that kind of thing. So real quickly, I'll get to mine, I guess. Like, I thought about this, like, really, and I think as I got older, and this wasn't always the case, so this is why I say I think now I would say that this is probably my greatest strength, is that I just like to have peace in anything I'm doing. I think the love that I've started to have for everyone has grown exponentially in the last 10 years. And it wasn't always that way, but I think now this has become something for me that I think has become my greatest strength, is that I love people. Like, I like to see people happy. I like to see people succeed. I like to see people, whatever it is. And I just think that has become probably my greatest strength, is that I love a lot. And again, it could be to a fault. Like in some of my relationships, I think I've loved a little too hard. And maybe that wasn't always taken the right way, or it didn't lead to a successful relationship. But I'm never going to stop doing that. And I'm never going to stop being me in that situation. So for me, I think that's just one of those things. And again, hey, we all have our things, and we all just like to live the rest of my life and put a smile on somebody's face. But well, that's our show for this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thank you to Sean for coming on and chatting with us. We always appreciate the comments. I saw Ben in there, a couple other people. Thank you so much. This really is a joy for all of us to do, I think. Like, we really do enjoy coming on here and talking football with you and just making everybody laugh and entertain everybody. So thank you for that. Again, for Anthony Handy, Tina Winter, and Delilah Crespo, I'm Nick Rosario. I will see you next week, but we'll have our Super Bowl teams, and we'll talk a little bit more about all that. Thank you guys, and have a great day.